Representative Cheryl Delosier, Representative Delisio are now recognized to speak on House Resolution 634. I do believe that they're going to be inviting some other members up with them.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would invite the other ladies, members of our Republican and Democratic caucus, to join us down here. This is an issue that I would proud to say every female legislator, as well as many others, are a co-sponsor on this bill, so we are asking them to join us when we make these remarks. Okay, get everybody. Yeah. All right. Ready? All right.
Representative Delosier, you may proceed and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud to be here. I was asked on behalf of Representative Quinn, who could not be here. This is her resolution, but unfortunately had a death in the family, was unable to be here. So on her behalf, I'm reading her remarks regarding this very, very important issue, as well as Representative Delisio will also be remarked on this issue that we need to bring more attention to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate your interest as well as the attention from my colleagues as I speak on the House Resolution 634, which recognizes January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Pennsylvania. It wouldn't surprise me if when you heard me mention human trafficking, that you instinctively thought about a problem that only occurs in far-off countries. Countries in which liberty and freedom are not revered in the way that they are in our nation. But this is not the case. Human trafficking is now a global epidemic. It is one of the fastest growing crimes in the world, estimated to be a $150 billion industry. This makes it second only to the drug industry. Human trafficking is occurring in the United States, in our Commonwealth, and in cities, counties, and small towns that we all represent. It is a dark, little discussed industry, and it is basically modern-day slavery. 50% of its victims are children, and 80% of the victims are female. The average age of the victim is 12 to 14 years old. In the past 2 decades, this commercial sexual exploitation has grown. The victims are estimated to be millions worldwide. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children estimates 325,000 children in the US, Canada, and Mexico are at risk for being victims of this sexual exploitation every day. It is our responsibility, morality, and constitutionality to protect the victims of this insidious crime. We must recognize that it does in fact occur here at home, and that our children are preyed upon and groomed by predators. The internet is typically the trafficker's first contact with the victim. And no, all the children victims do not come from troubled homes. It is imperative that we all learn more about human trafficking, realize that it is on the rise, and that it does in fact happen here at home. Raising awareness is a first step, one that each of us can take. I thank you for your support of House Resolution 634, making January Human Trafficking Awareness in Pennsylvania. By supporting this resolution, you are giving a voice to the victims, women, men, and most importantly, children. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Delosier. And now, Representative Pam Delisio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a few short years ago, I heard Representative Quinn, gentlelady from Bucks County, present this resolution, and she was standing here by herself. And it was a great resolution, and part of the reason we do resolutions is to build awareness and public awareness. So the following year, it was my privilege and pleasure to co-prime that resolution with her. But the ideal goal would to be bring as much awareness together as possible, and I am just so thrilled today, beyond thrilled, that every single gentle lady of our body has co-sponsored this piece of legislation and is up here today. I think the gentle lady from Bucks County would be thrilled to see this, and we're going to share with her some great photographs of this event. Public awareness is very, very important. I happened to be at a conference down in Lexington, Kentucky a couple of summers ago, and very late at night there was a very interesting couple, a very young woman, perhaps in her early teens, and an older gentleman. And there was just something about this couple that made my antenna twitch. And they were asking for directions to the restroom. And interestingly enough, the young lady, the gentleman stuck very close to her. Happened to go into the restroom myself, engaged the young woman in conversation, and before I knew it, I had exited, she had exited, and that gentleman was right there at the door to be with her. And I realized somewhat after the fact that I believed I had just witnessed somebody who was a victim of trafficking, and immediately went to the hotel security to report it. As it turns out, the bartender had also thought this was odd. They had come into the bar asking for water or something. And by the time the hotel security reacted, this couple was long gone. And even at midnight on the streets of Lexington, this bothered me so much, I went out to look for this young lady, because this young lady was somebody's daughter, somebody's niece, somebody's granddaughter. So after that, I've certainly made it a point to try to understand, what do these trafficked, particularly younger women, look like? And in what situations are they? And this was a very nice hotel in downtown Lexington. So it can happen all around us. The information session that was arranged for today to share some of this awareness with all of our colleagues was postponed, I believe, due to weather. It will be rescheduled, and when that is rescheduled, I urge you all to stop by and pick up any bit of information you can about this and take that back to your districts so your constituents will also understand and we can continue to raise awareness. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Delisio. Members, if you'll please wait, just Representative Margot Davis has asked to also say a few more remarks. Representative Davis.
I just wanted to take just a second to bring the issue very close to home here in Pennsylvania. During Human Trafficking Month, which is this month, in my district, we held a Human Trafficking Awareness Forum. At that forum, the district attorney let us know that legislation that we passed here on human trafficking to make it easier for prosecutors to prosecute traffickers, that was also co-sponsored by most of the ladies here. That became law. It made it easier for law enforcement and district attorneys to prosecute human traffickers. Right after that bill became law, a man was captured and convicted for trafficking 2 young women, 16 and 15, in Upper Darby. He has been convicted. He is off of the street. But we wanted to let you know that this is a very real issue. It affects mostly women and girls. And because of what we've done and the awareness that we've brought, this trafficker was taken off of the streets of Upper Darby after the passage of the law here against human trafficking here in the House. And I just wanted to make the body aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.